Montana's Real Country, KSKY 106.9. Feel Good Friday with Dave and Allie. I tell you never know who you're going to run into in the kitchen at the radio station. Just went to get a cup of coffee, and our new senator, Tim Sheehy's out there having a cup. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Thanks for letting me pop in.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we saw you on Fox and Friends yesterday. And then we're like, hey, we should reach out to them and see if we can get them on the show because you're heading off to Washington, aren't you?
Yeah, Monday we head out to start getting everything set up out there, and we've had a huge media blitz yesterday and today, as you said. This morning we're on Fox, and we got a few other shows today, so happened to be driving by. We had one interview get bumped back a bit, so we figured we'd pop in and say hello.
No, I'm so glad you did. Thank you very much. And I hope we can get you back periodically. Steve
sure.
Dane's a big friend of our show, so he pops in whenever he's in town, so we extend the invitation.
We will. Great. And you got that wononderful tractor sign just next door.
Yeah.
I love that guy, Joel. Yeah,
he was
Joel.
working hard for you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, day one. He's 91 years old, and he texted me directly and said, hey, I want to get a sign up, and we've had to replace it a couple times. As you see, it's been worn
the
out.
wind can be hard on it.
But, no, we appreciate that. And, that's emblematic of our campaign, really, because as everyone in Montana knows, they've gotten to know their good friend Sheehy very well. The airwaves were just carpet bombed with lies. The most expensive campaign in American history. We were outspent 3, 4, 5 to 1. There's some months we were outspent 10 to 1. It was crazy, and it was all lies and smear. And that's unfortunate, but that's where we are in politics these days. But our campaign, we knew we were going to be outspent. And Joel's sign next door to you here is emblematic of how we ran this campaign. We personally went to all 56 counties multiple times. Instead of trying to let the media filter our stuff through, we just went and talked to crowds of people, from 2 people to 500. Let them meet me in person. I'd stand there for hours on end, take selfies, talk to every person individually, and said, you know what? If you have a question, ask me. You don't have to worry about the paper or the internet. Just walk up to me at these events.
I'll tell you.
And for 18 months, that's what we did all day, every day, 5 events a day, 7 from Plentywood to Broadus to Ekalaka, a whole state, and it worked. 8 points, big victory. It wasn't a squeaker. It was a landslide.
Now, earlier you mentioned Shady Sheehy. When they first coined that, did that bother you at all?
No, actually, we immediately made, obviously we don't have enough money to have the same reach, but we immediately turned it into a joke because I have 4 kids. My youngest is named Wally, and he's, according to my mom, a carbon copy of me at that age. He just turned 5, and we have a fun T-shirt of him that we immediately started selling online, the original Shady Sheehy, and it was him with his sunglasses on the beach a few years ago, and we made a joke out of it. So it is what it is, and I obviously whatever they tried to do didn't work because we won big.
We're talking with Senator-elect Tim Sheehy in studio with us this morning, and you're getting ready to head to Washington. So you've been campaigning for a year and a half, and now, you don't get to take a 2-week vacation somewhere?
No, there's no time for that. I've been campaigning. I'm still a father of 4. We're active farmers and ranchers, and of course, I'm also still, I stood down as CEO about 6 months ago of our company, but I was still water bombing fires this summer. I was still an active firefighting pilot, filling my shifts. So, yeah, it's been a busy year and a half, but the reality is we won Tuesday, and that means we got to be in D.C. Monday to start getting our office set up. You'll have a staff, 30 or 40 people. You got to hire your staff, get your machine up and running. Because come January 3rd, America expects results, and we got to be ready to hit the ground running. We can't say, oh, I just got here, give me some time. People don't care. They say, hey, I don't care how long you've been there. Yeah. You're my senator. Get to work, and that's what we're going to do.
All right. What do you think? What's at the top of the agenda?
Well, of course, we get sworn in January 3rd. Obviously, President Trump will get sworn in. Historic, as a second non-consecutive term. I think it's only happened once before. He'll get sworn in about 2 to 3 weeks after that. I think 3 weeks now. And that gives us 3 weeks to get basically the Senate and the House sworn in, set up, and ready to start accepting cabinet nominations, judicial nominations. So it's going to be a busy couple weeks there. And then, of course, he takes office. So our first priority is going to be personnel in the Senate. It's very different than the House. Our job is personnel. So our most important priorities are going to be we approve cabinet nominees, Secretary of Defense, Director of CIA, Secretary of Agriculture, et cetera, et cetera. Judicial nominees that will start coming through. We need to make sure we give him a cabinet that he can get to work on and start saving the country.
We're Dave and Allie, and nice surprise, we got Tim Sheehy drop by the studio this morning. Just got elected on Tuesday night by Montanans to be our next senator. So it's you and Daines.
That's right. Yeah, we'll be riding side by side there. I'm now the junior senator. He's the senior senator, and actually, I found out yesterday I am number 100 of 100 in seniority because obviously the amount of time you spend in office is your first ranking, which of course I've never run for anything, so this is my first minute in office, and then it goes alphabetically, and the other senators elected newly this cycle are Justice, McCormick, Moreno, and Sheehy. And obviously, alphabetically, I'm at the bottom. So I'm 100 of 100, last place.
Where do you sit then? Does that mean you're in the back?
No, actually, I don't know. That's what I find out Monday. I go get the office set up, find out where my little folding chair is going to be, and I got to get to work. So that's good. I don't sit much anyways. I intend to be on the move. We got a lot of work to do in this country.
How do they do that? So when because you're new to this gig. You're not a politician. So you got to know how the Senate works, and all. Do they give you a class on that?
Literally, they do. That's what I'm doing next week, and obviously, I've got to hire a staff, and my staff will be, I've already given direction. My staff is going to be, I have to have some people that have been there that know how the building works, but I also don't want to be, importing swamp creatures either. Like the mandate America gave us all on Tuesday, from President Trump through the Senate races, is they want change. They want to get back to America First policies, and that is not more the same from D.C. So we're going to have a staff that is going to embody those policies, that's going to embody common sense. And Montanans want common sense. They want a secure border, safe streets, cheap gas, cops are good, criminals are bad, boys are boys, girls are girls. That's what we're going to do.
I like it. So you were at MSU yesterday. How did that go?
Well, well, first of all, finding a parking spot in that place is miserable. My God. I mean, I hadn't been in there a couple of years, but, I was invited to speak to a group there yesterday at very short notice. It was like the day prior. Hey, you won. Come by and talk to us tomorrow. I said, yeah, you know what? I got a bit of time in the schedule. Let's do it. So I had the kids yesterday. My wife is on the board of Special Olympics. She has two brothers with Down syndrome, so she's very involved in the special needs community. So she was in Helena all day at her board meeting, so I had all four of our kids. So took them with me down to MSU and parked in the parking garage, and I had to walk through, all the buildings there, through the cafeteria, and I'm like, oh, great, I'm walking through a college campus. Republican just elected senator. I'm sure we're going to get lots of choice comments here like we do normally whenever we're in Missoula. And, I walked through hundreds of students, the cafeteria, all these buildings, 100% positive reaction. Claps, cheers, asked for selfies, congratulations. I couldn't believe it, and what it said was, our young people are far smarter than we give them credit for. And, they can see truth. They don't need to be fed it through social media or the media. They can see what's happening. They can see the price of gas. They can see what's happening on the border, and they want change. So I think we're seeing a tidal shift in our youth in America where they're saying, listen, I want policies that are good for me. That's not too much to ask for anyone in the world. The government I elect and that I pay for with my tax dollars, I expect them to do things that are good for me, good for my family, and good for my community. And what they've seen the last 3.5 years is not that.
Well, and I think that if you look at the stats, from the breakdown of the election on Tuesday, that bears that out. I mean, young people definitely came out and voted for Trump.
Well, and again, I think, the narrative that the media has been trying to push for years, and, the lesson I really learned as a first-time candidate for anything, not even student council, that's the first time I run for anything, is that the media is about their narrative. They want to push a narrative, and the truth is less important than the narrative they want to push. Because as we saw in the hours leading up to the election, we're told Iowa polling was going to go for Kamala. We're being told that, it's going to be we're being told that I was going to lose. There was a Newsweek article said I was going to lose this election in Montana. And it's all about the narrative. And I think young people see through that. They have access to far more information in a raw form than they've ever had before. They're also just perceptive, and they see things for what they are. But, people voted, take Trump and Harris' name off the ticket. People voted for what's good for them, which is what you should expect them to do. They said, I'm going to vote for my grocery receipt, for my gas prices. I'm going to vote for the safety of my community. I'm going to vote for the well-being of my family, whether it's crime, whether it's fentanyl, whether it's health care. There isn't a single trend line that's been going in the right direction these last 3.5 years in this country, and people feel that, and they voted that way. And we were delivered a mandate on Tuesday that people want to put America first, and they want common sense back.
All right, Senator Tim Sheehy hanging out with us today. Appreciate you coming in, man. It's great to meet you.
Thank you.
And thank you, and good luck. And hopefully we'll get you back when you're in town.
All right, let's get it done. See you next time.
You have an open invitation to the KSKY Morning Show.